connection. Still living strong. No, it is on a casting with Big Tavi. Very very excited for this one. Requiem Tavi. I'm sure this is probably one of the big teams. One of the I noticed this is one of the games you put your name down for. I know why personally, but it is no secret you do enjoy the outer regions as opposed to the inner regions. That's not a secret. I think everyone knows that. Your knowledge is a bit more extensive in the NEA regions, I'd say, Tavi. So why don't you give us a bit more insight as to what Requiem can provide here? Because we know about Bleedout, we know what Bleedout can do. Requiem are a bit more up in the air. So why don't you give us a bit more insight?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. We've just loaded in on Wretched Shop. This is actually the Dracula, by the way. This is not Requiem's pick. This is, in fact, Bleedout's pick, which I think with JD on the killer does make some sense. We get some beautiful dodging there to start off this trial, but yeah, like Requiem, they've been solid. I don't really know how long they've been around as like a fixed number, but they've been around since I started casting, so at least a year, at least maybe even like a year and a half, I would say, as we do continue this chase on the top side. Yeah, again, nice little dodges coming through, but I think it will just be ending up in a death unless there's bounce landing, but no, there's not much to play around here, but the stun comes to a ping! Oh my god. Yeah, Requiem as a team, the roster I'm more familiar with has Gabu and Gunther, and also I believe Zen, who I don't see around nowadays. But they're still streaming on Twitch. Anyway, yeah, I'm more familiar with that roster, and they really like playing like as an individual team, like each survivor for their own, as a matter of the fact. And as I do say that, they are doubling first gen. I do believe they pop it before the first pain resonance, which is a huge deal. So yeah, just a few seconds leeway for the first gen jumps, which I think is already a pretty favorable start here for Requiem. But JD's still got a nice down though, so I was gonna think that Requiem like they're prepared to always go into like a 3v1. That's what I'm used to them doing. And after the 3v1, that's when they will pull out the big guns.
Yeah, just to clarify, actually, we are seeing Requiem's killer first and Bleedout survivors just to clear anything up. We do see the first chase coming through onto JD. He did have a nice little chase at main there, Tavi. Won a few 50s. We do catch out, I believe this is... I'm too sure this is Jas. So we do dodge there. Unlucky from the big man. I believe it's... I'm just going to call him A because I don't want to butcher anyone's name. See, A Tucker. We'll call him A Tucker. He is going to storm back to hook here. That was a really good pull from... Oh my god! That was beautiful. Unlucky. Now, that down alone means you're going to have to force something. JD's going for an all-or-nothing play. Choosing stealth over distance, Tavi. I mean, I thought he could... I think maybe he perhaps thought he could get a bit counterintuitive. Maybe, you know, play into the killer's arms there. We do send the Hellfire while we greet the pellet. Dog should make this loop unplayable, and JD's going down now. This is so unfortunate, Tavi. That's going to be a rough go, bro. A very rough go.
Yeah, a bit of a surprise for me as well, as I do see that second gen pop there. But yeah, JD's going to be on second now, and I was completely mistaken somehow the team orientation of the survivors and killers. So anyway, Taka's just going to continue this on. I'm not really sure of this position at the moment. I mean, with this down coming in on light, which is so huge because now it forces the pull. Now I think he can look for the 4K1 territory, or maybe even 4K2. Remember, this is a fair amount of ping coming through between these two teams, and Taka is just going to go chase down JD with the bat form. I think there was a lot of distance made, so I'd assume the sprint burst on JD, which we didn't really get to see like too much, I guess, like up from the previous unhook. There was some usage, but like, yeah, Nez managed to make it all the way to, I believe, the ideal death location, and with this additional hit from Jas, maybe they can make it to some kind of safety. Taka's just going to remove this pallet immediately though, and we have another hit tank from Jas coming through. I don't know if Metal Man is on these builds from Jas, and that's a Hellfire being sent through the rocks, And Taka is going to happily take that down and just see if they can completely take out JD from the game. And that's going to be the case. They don't make the pallet from there. So suddenly things have just turned on the edge. Jazz, whom I thought like the first hit take was pretty brilliant in order to extend the chase. Now just going down on the edge map suddenly again we've got a lot of pressure here on Taka's side, and they're deciding to slug. So maybe even looking at 4K3 territory drums, which is an insane result on Dracula.
I would like to take us. God, yeah. I mean, I would like to turn our attention, Tavi, just briefly to the VIP tipping we had this week. We did have Bleedout absolutely obliterating the VIP tipping with 18-5 on the Dark Lord, 20-3 on the Unknown, and 18-4 on the Mastermind, all in Bleedout's favor. Now, if we're able to see a 4K2 perhaps, Tavi, I think 4K2 from this spot still is achievable, but not out of the question. What do you think we can sort of see here from the survivors to not get to that point? Because if you get 4K1 on the Dracula, I'd say that's a bit of problems. I don't think Dracula is 4K. It's very, very tough set, but I don't think it's 4K. I think it's definitely high stages, around 7, 8, 9. We do catch out. This is a great macro from A Tucker as well. Finding Jas right on the edge map there, Tavi, and I mean, this is rough, with your captain down and out early. We need to see the three, I guess, troopers, the three Sarges come in and do something here, because... Oh! And we just get the down onto the bro Jas. This is rough, Tavi.
Yeah, and that's like the thing which I think Bleedout needed to avoid here, like just avoiding a down in the generator setup, which is now not the case, of course, with Jazz being found on the edge map and being down with an incredible Hellfire, in my opinion, because, yeah, I mean, that is just really good position there from Taka. And they also seem to have found scratch marks. I don't know if they will be able to initiate chase here, because the survivors have not showed themselves yet. I assume they're around the pallet somewhere and stealthing, but they're completely gone, so scratch marks did not really result in anything. But again, Taka should be completely happy with this position. Bleedout, if they are to pop another generator, they need to force the chasers on the bot side of the map. Like, Row now being found here. This is the optimal chase spot. I mean, there are not many pallets. Sure, that is not necessarily the best thing. Taka does miss the double dash though, which is a bit of a good sign for Bleedout. But again, is still playing to the zone on the side of the map. Taka does miss the Hellfire though, so again, it's going to be another blessing for Row. They can extend this chase. Yeah, we could actually see another generator pop, but again, I would say it is somewhat unlikely to see a second one pop, but we can, anything could happen. So Row's gonna head to the edge map. I think he'll take a tag here though. It's not really avoidable at this point, and I think they'll just be going down. This pallet was already broken, so still a very, very nice chase considering the amount of resources used, and just like the death location as well was just so good for Survivor side to just start cracking that the top side generator side again. And Taka's just gonna slug again, and Jobs is another problem for our survivors. It's just that with the lack of the S tier perks coming through, you might not be able to get those resets through as quickly, and you might just not be able to apply as much pressure. So slugging is just a stronger option on Dracula. So even this gen popping, if Taka can find somebody in this top side, I don't think the chase will last that long. We've seen Spin Burst out of the trial. We've also seen, actually, I don't think we've seen Dead Hard at all, so they could manage to pull that off. But again, I don't know if the chases will last that long. Jazz does do a nice dodge there, so that is going to be a bit of a redemption from the previous chase, in my opinion. But our survivor was forced to go pick up Rose. So again, this it goes from Rose good chase. Now Jazz has to have a good chase too to avoid getting down here. And Bleedout could pull this off in a 4K1, but it was just really incredibly well played from Taka.
Yeah, and like you said, you got really, really nicely played. You're gonna need to see a lot, and I'm talking a lot of good chases here, long chases. This is a mid hook as well, so I don't know how much justice it'll do then. Jas is not pain res, which I guess is the saving grace. Not that it would do a whole lot in this situation. Getting Roy's here setting up for a hatch play, potentially maybe 4K1, is probably what is going to be setting into the mind now. You need to sort of, I don't know, reevaluate sort of what went wrong. I think the tunnel out came a bit early. cycles are a bit quick. I don't necessarily think that was JD's fault, as we do catch a mid-vault. Yeah, it does make sense. Roses is holding the longest chases. He is the same, essentially the closest ping. Not the same exact ping, but the closest he can get out of all the survivors. Honestly, though, Tavi, it's just really well played, Tucker. This has been, regardless of what happens now, nice juke from Roy. But a saving grace. How is he not dead, bloke? Oh my god. And we see Enlighten come in to take a hit there to avoid the pain risk. Can we get a flick over to the gen? See what the gen's at. Maybe they get a 4K one here. There's no bloke on a gen.
It's got to be bugged, right, Drums? UI's just got to be bugged, and Ro goes down, so it's like now or never for the survivors, I think.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, Tavi, it's a little bit upsetting. Because, you know, 4K2 on Drac, I'll be 4K2 on Drac, it's a bit of an upsetting result. You know, it's not really something that should be in high 4K. No, it should be high 4K, but I think Tucker's played it really well. Tucker going to take this hook onto Roses here. Does he make a pain res? He 100% makes a pain res every day of the century of the year. Honestly, Tavi, my depiction of the game has just been, you know, a really sought out tunnel out coming early, and then a really, I won't say sloppy 3v1, but just a really high pressure 3v1 where not really much could have got done. Overall, you know, like you said, we needed to rotate picks. Def locations were across, but choosing to slug light was low-key, I thought, a bad decision in the moment. We do catch out the edge map light here, and that's probably going to secure the 4K2 no matter what now. That is very unfortunate. Jas is rotating in for the pull. Tavi, that is problems.
Is he rotating for the pull though? Oh, he did, okay. I was going to say, maybe he just sits the generator, you know, since it's been, you know, going for a fair amount of time, but since he rotated for the pull, now Ro has to, you know, run away, and again, the pressure's been alleviated on the gens, so there's just no one going to be possibly working on a gen for quite some time here, and yeah, problems, as you're saying, Drums. I do kind of agree that Dracula, like 4K, is somewhat expected. I think him also being down a tier is fairly impactful for that result. But also the fact that this is ping means that 4K will be more likely. Even though, of course, Bleedout do have they have rostered survivors that have lower ping, Jazz and Ro, to be fair. And Jazz, nice dodges there. That's good chase time. That's good. That's good reset time being brought for Bleedout. So even though he dies here, maybe they can get something done. But still, as I was saying before, like, you know, 4K1 even with the ping is, I would say, expected. 4K2, from, I think, the point where Enlighten got down, 4K2 was going to be more likely, because, like, JD was hooked, and then Enlighten pretty much just gets hit through the window, and everything just goes to shit. So, I would say Bleedout have pulled it back. I would probably attribute that more to Roses' chase a bit more, but yeah, it's just going to be a hard result for Bleedout to try and go back and take if they want a chance of bringing this back, of course. But do manage to find the reset here, so I think most of those hopes will be crushed fairly shortly.
You're exactly right, Stavros, and with that being said, I think that just secures the 4K2. We had a conversation. By we, I mean myself and Fija. He wasn't sure who was going to win. I don't know. I wasn't too sure either, but this is pretty convincing if you ask me. I mean, 4K1, 4K2, my apologies, 4K2, just a monster of a result. Absolute monster of a result against the quality of a team of Bleedout's caliber. You know, they've been a team for a while. We do see the insta pick onto Enlighten. Bruce was able to evade the authorities just that little bit longer. Tavi, do you see anything coming from this? I'm going to be honest, I don't.
I don't, but to be fair, when Moises is on the survivor, I'll still believe in him. Like just the quality of the chases that I've seen in the past year from this man right here on the ace with the medkit, the quality has been incredible. And also, you know, I do not expect the stealthing to be what do you call it? Like I expect the stealthing to be like on a same level or even higher than the chases. But Light's gonna get found, so Roy will just have to sit back and chill for a bit. Hope that Light can last, but. Yeah, like I was gonna say the hope was extinguished, but Ro didn't get tagged. Like Roses did not get tagged, and Taka did know where they were. So to me, it was a bit confusing to um why Taka didn't go for like an injury on Voices, because of course now it's gonna be harder to find Voices in this like stealth scenario. But he still got the down, so in theory, Voices should not be able to pop a gen here through like Eruption Fox as well. Like I don't think can really do much as well on like a singular health state. So it's just a really patient waiting game, which we'll have to see what JD does about it next set. I know Requiem again, like from previous, like they are very patient on the survivor side. So if JD is going to take risks to go for a 4K2, or rather, I should say, like if JD's not in a secure position for 4K2 and takes those risks, it's to me very likely that Bleedout will, sorry, not Bleedout, that Requiem will take advantage of that and perform a better result. But JD will do what he has to do in the next trial. We're just gonna take the bounce landing away with a tag, and we will commence the final 1v1 for this first set. So I don't think Eiffel is a safe right against Dracula. No way.
I don't think anything's safe against Dracula. I've seen Dracula's hit stuff through the back shack window crack. So I don't know what's safe, what's not anymore. You have a good yeah, you gotta have a decent understanding.
Oh.
But either way, like it's not a bad idea. Playing the tile if you think you're confident. Either way, yeah, like you said, last chase of the match. Just for reference, Enlightened, who is the coordinator in this trial, him bleeding out in this trial essentially means nothing at all. It's going to be 4K2 with no minors applied. Really, really well played. This is Japan's finest, ladies and gentlemen. One of, I don't know if bro's on Team Japan, but we do know they have had experience together. Obviously, Requiem having former members of Team Japan. I don't know if they're still there. We'll see as we load up into the next trial when they load up on Survivor, of course. Honestly, Tavi, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah, well, JD, I think the answer that I would say, because JD is like experienced, I've also kind of what's the term? Like I guess I've been with JD. I think I know at least I think I know the mentality that JD has with these sets, and I think that having a set tile win is going to be a real confidence booster for JD. And losing the set, I think JD will not really mind too much, because it was a difficult win con to go for 4K2. If they do, of course, JD does not meet that. So, yeah, I would assume this is more for JD's confidence on the next upcoming, I guess, or current set of Dracula half, which we see here. So I don't know though, because again, JD, I've seen JD go for like some very ambitious hits on the dog dashes and also the hellfires, and they can hit and they can also miss. That's just the reality of things. So if those dashes start connecting, then you can get back into the rhythm of having to play unknown, of course, in the next set. So we do see Rune take chase here, Shaq just to initiate this trial, and we do actually have Shirley trying to, I think, maybe rotate out of the corrupt area just to start applying some gem pressure. But I think this start is already pretty good for Requiem. They haven't taken the tag. That's a really nice Hellfire though, just as I say, they haven't taken the tag. So Rude's gonna just try and W away and make it to safety, but it's just this pallet here, and I think JD is going to have this dash locked now, but he misses, and this is the problem now of JD, because is that miss going to be enough to affect the entire trial? I think the answer is yes, because this is some beautiful play coming in from Rune, being able to dodge this and making the Eiffel look safe just for a bit longer.
I agree, and to be completely honest, that has come in at a decent rate. We do have a gen coming through now. Honestly, Tavi, it's been a bit of an awkward one. Because that down came in at a pretty average, first date chase. You kind of need to get a two tap the way we saw. I think JD didn't even really get two tapped off his first chase. It was just a bad position to, like, I guess, be in. I guess when he got caught early, there wasn't enough time to cross. There wasn't enough time to sit gens for your chase. And I think that's what we saw here. We've seen everyone cross. We've seen Rune, have a good spot. Good chase. Corey's on a gen. Soroman's on a gen. We see Shirley setting up for the pool. We'd have Ruin intact. I think Ruin is definitely good for JD. 100%. That is probably maybe one of the better perks you can get on Drac, Loki. We do see the pool not coming in. We see Lara getting pulled off the gen. We do see the pool coming in. We do see the pool getting sent. Sorry, we see our killer JD screened away from the hook. I believe he might have thought maybe 3 gens might have came in. Now, we've FTP'd the dead hard play. I don't hate the decision by any means, but the problem is JD probably just will commit ace here, which is our Shirley. We do get a nice flick. That is beautiful from JD. You need to be hitting those if you want to achieve this 4K2 here. Tavi, what is the reality of it now, bro? We see this run. Now, this run, sorry, Tavi, I just want to jump in real quick. That ruin spot is genuinely the best ruin spot you can get, and Requiem have done a great job to recognize where that totem is.
I actually didn't catch it, so I guess I'll have to look out for it when I go back to JD's view. But yeah, that Hellfire there onto Shirley, I think, was extremely important, because missing that, then the FTP guy who was Rune just gets away. Shirley kind of unzones themselves too and extends the chase, but JD, I think, might have just gotten back into the rhythm of this draft play, because now second down onto Shirley with the beautiful Hellfire on the Rock Filler means that only one more generator pops of this. But to be fair though, with the good pacing from JD, there's also good pacing from Requiem. They were playing very patient. Shirley waited until JD committed to the generator before pulling, and then immediately went for the FTP, which in the previous trial, funnily enough, exact same thing happened. We also had a gen pop before the first down, or the first hook actually. Exactly the same thing happened, but we saw Enlightened get caught out immediately after the second, or the tunnel survivor was found, so was put on hook. So I just think that Shirley now, gets healed the second win. There's only 2 gens left. Yeah, I think Requiem just played this one really, really cleanly. Those dodges coming through from Rune at the start just set the pace for the trial. Allowed everyone, as you were saying, everyone to rotate out of the club and just get into better positioning in general. And that will most likely just be the set gone for Bleedout. And there's an additional stun too from Rune, so really nicely done here. So now my other prediction, as I was saying, if it's not 4K2, it'll be out. So Jams, is this what you were envisioning when JD loaded in?
I hate to be that guy, and I've been brutally honest all afternoon, so I'll remain in character. Yes, I did expect something of this caliber when we loaded in. Nothing on JD. It's just 4K2 is not a nice win con to be able to meet. 4K3 even is your win con. That's just terrible, if we're going to be honest with each other. It's terrible for JD. You can't get by. In this day and age, Noah putting up those, you're always going to drop a set if you put up a 4K3. There's no way around it. 4K2, whatever, right? I think you said it right. Ooh, double vault there from Rune came in. That's just all our distance gone. We Loki R2 tap here. That's kind of bad. We nice little shot there as well. We are choosing to slug. He's playing for the 4K too. You got to respect his heart and passion here. Big J doesn't want to give up. Going down deep 6 with the TP. I don't know. Is it possible, Tavi? Can he get it from here? I don't know. It seems a bit out of the reach now, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I was spoken a little bit too soon. JD did manage to get a very nice 2-tap on Rune, but I think the chases here, I think with this pretty obvious bounce landing coming through, even through the bounce, you do get a tag onto Mr. Corey. So, um, just like that one little fumble from Rune did give JD a bit of that injection of hope, which I think is pretty justified. Like, could get the down onto Corey, maybe apply the eruption. I mean, to me, this down's already taken too long because Rune's already been picked up. But there's not really, again, not really much JD can do. Like, you can decide to hook Rune and concede even more gen pressure. You can slug and then attempt to down Corey, or Corey can just be one of the goats and dodge like everything. So, yeah, that's going to be the Wicon now with that fourth generator popped. And we'll just have to see how many extra stages JD can rack up here. Nice mind game coming through, slightly wide from JD. I mean that Corey's hugging will be enough, and nice little moonwalks to for the viewers out there. But it will not be enough. So yeah, it's still 3 stages on the board for JD. Nothing too shabby. Can secure a couple more here, but Sprint Burst is gonna be not enough for someone to get out of this. So suddenly there's a bit of pressure on the ball for JD. Gates are done. 3 stages still, but you know these are the 2 pressures being chased. So in theory, this is 9 stages strong.
Yeah, I mean, we did get it down onto Corey, who has been picked up in the background. The Alara, who is also fresh, is in chase. This might just be a pick into basement. Really, really well played from Requiem on that first set of Dracula. It being their pick does mean that next set will be unknown. We are all very, very familiar with J Daz's unknown and how fluid he can be on the killer, how controlling he can take over a game when he's on that killer. We are on the Wrecker's Yard, and I will say I don't think that'll mean too much more in a bad light for JD. I think, honestly, that might even make it a little bit better. A little bit of a swing and a miss there. We are going to send a Hellfire. I don't know what the play could be here. We do see a double tag coming through. That's just diabolical. We are going to take it down onto Jake here. Corey, sorry, I believe Rune is sending the basement. No, he's not. No, we've already seen someone send the basement. We are juking. We have to juke. Nice jukes. The Sprint Burst player coming in clutch. They're kind of dancing around old poor J Desert right now, big fella.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they got nothing to lose at this point as Requiem, and the 6 stages might turn into a Gorilla 4K1, perhaps, but the CP comes through as well from Riley. Now suddenly there's 3 little Goobers standing in this trial, and it seems like JD is just committed to Corey, who I think is in just a really good spot to go down, even if this does come through. You know, all the other survivors are so far away that I don't think it matters, so... I guess 6 stages turned into, I don't want to say it, but it turned into 7 stages. And in theory, Requiem could just escape the gates like they could have before. But I have a feeling that, yeah, they will not. And you see here, Rune coming in, the flashlight save surely just goes to the trade. And the trial still continues here with the really goofy survivor stuff. Yeah.
And that, like I said, will be 1-0 to Requiem in this set. That is a big set. That is very, very big in the grand scheme of things. You know, every set, every game in this season counts. 9 long weeks of reg season. Every match matters. You never know what week genuinely could be the week your grand final is being played. And what I mean by that is, you need to win these matches against the teams that are closer to your level. You know, Requiem and Bleedout, I don't know if this is a hot take, but they're low-key around the same level here. They're both really good teams. I'd say they're pretty A-class. Outside of, you know, 2 Savage being S-class, they're right up there in the A category, both of them. So this is a big match in the grand scheme, like I said, Tavi. First set, Requiem. Second set, unknown. Last set is going to be Mastermind, but... we said earlier, actually, no, sorry, I said earlier with Little Chief that if, you know, the key to winning this game for Requiem would be winning one of the first 2 sets, Harvey, and with Mastermind being a tiebreaker, I don't know if you were in attendance for the the set last week between Bleedout and Saf on the Wesker, but it was a rough showcase on the side of Bleedout. So I'm scared if it does get to the TB, Tavi. I'm really, really scared. But we are going there no matter what. Well, we're not going there no matter what, but if you know, yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, Bleedout will be going there if they want to try and take this that one. Yeah, that was the what do you call it? The inference, yeah, that I think we're making here, and I think Requiem just having a bit of fun at the end here before the unknown set will start. But yeah, Mastermind, I was like kind of attendance, like you know the times where like you go to the toilet to like to just avoid being in class. Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing with the Bleedout.
Literally does. It's literally a beautiful story. You know, guy comes in, doesn't speak a lick of English, comes out, now he's communicating with everyone. Everyone loves the bloke. So really, you can't argue with the addition of Royce. But my point is, you know, having the language barrier in there does hurt. Maybe even putting someone like a Lemonetic in there isn't your worst option. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud. I apologize. Lemonetic's not even on the team anymore. So regardless of what happens, you need to play Roy. Not that it's a bad option. Saying that is not a bad thing. Needing to play Roy is actually quite good. He'd play every set. I mean, I'd put him on every set personally. I guess it just goes back, Harvey, to how do you use him? What do you utilize him as? Because that can just stem down to builds, what build you put him on. It can also stem down to what sets you pick as well, Tarvi, because map knowledge for Royce, this is something that he can rely on. He's obviously really good on Cole. I mean, Cole, I've never had a problem with him when he's on Cole 1. Always beautiful comms, always dies in the right spot. It's like fluidity when you play with him on that. You see on Wretched Shop, things aren't as fluid, right? This is the second week in a row we've seen them get pretty much 4K'd at a decent level of gens on Dracula. I apologize, I can't remember what the last week's result was, but I know it was a bit of shambolic last. No, it was Artist, sorry, against Saf. They played Wretched Shop, and Ruse just literally looked, no pun intended, all over the shop. But we are taking a tag. We just get that off onto Runia. JD's had quite a long first chase. I apologize for rambling like a Darrow, but we are taking a chase here onto, is this Corey? I believe this is Rune. I apologize, I just said the name. We have a TP Shack. JD might be eyeing that off to TP. He is going to TP. Really nicely read from our survivors there, and JD's got his work cut out for him, Tavi. By golly.
Yeah, bro. I mean, Requiem they're feeling it. It looked like they were mucking around a bit in the endgame in the previous trial, but I mean, right now they're just showing, I guess maybe why Dracula is supposed to be in S tier by showing exactly why Unknown is in B tier, and that's a first gen popping for pretty much nothing on JD's and that's another missed UBX from JD, and I think this confidence is going to take a bit of a beating, which yeah, it's a bit unfortunate for JD, but you gotta live with it, and I'm pretty sure he's experienced enough to put that behind him. So we'll just see the next generator pop as well, as we do continue the chase on to the captain themselves, Shirley, and I think this will finally be a tag coming through, but Shirley wins the 50s, so I think the casino for Requiem just printing right now, completely printing everything. And this tag will finally come through, but they're just in such a good position. Shax also, I'm pretty sure, got to be worked on at this point, and there's still not really much that JD can work off for this first down. I mean, Shirley's, I guess, zoned to the edge map, which is good. It's gonna go down, but not in a position where you want him down. Like, this is just completely outside the generator setup, and you know, JD just has to take it because there's not really much else. Like, how are you going to get the painless if there's no injured survivor that's like gonna die? So it's gonna finally go down and provide the first pain resonance of the trial, which is not even close, drums. There's no pain resonance at all in this side of the map, so these things are just not going JD's way. It's just really well played on Requiem's side. JD just got ran through, and yeah, now Requiem are just looking really solid here. I would imagine some very incredible shots would have to come through from JD to back.
And you're exactly right, Tavi. Not much else for me to add to what you said. They have put JD in a terrible spot here. would be very egregious on the mental. Yeah, it's tough, man. You know, they played it well. They didn't get a painter, as like you said, Tavi. He was just dead full six, I believe this is nowadays. We are catching out. I believe this is Riley here, who has been the tunnel out this game. Who has had an amazing chase all game. They've all had amazing chases. We do UVX there. Now, I guess one thing we can really say, Tavi, is Requiem are showing how terrible this killer can be. Even with the little 2-tap onto Riley there. We're at a really good spot in this game. We're about one more gen's gonna pop. Another bloke's on a gen as well, cross map. Like, there's just 3 gens like being worked on at this current time. Painters is gonna come from the Corey gen. You still got 2 gen 70, Tavi. I mean, is it wrong for me to say this game is just gonna be 4 stages?
I think I've seen Unknown pull back slightly more than 4 stages in positions similar to Lee's, but this is a good chase though. It's around the active gen, so I do think it's going to be slightly more. Of course, that's if JD can secure downs, but at this point it's just been like JD going for Shivali and then have to go for them again because there's just not enough reason to chase the other survivors. So you do catch out a survivor rotating to the full though, so Corey's going to probably just take a hit here. I don't know if they want to trade this, but they are just going to run away at the end of this. So yeah, JD, I think playing for best result, 4K is not really an option here unless the survivors just will themselves to get 2-tapped, of course. And then 4K might be an option, but yeah, with this unhook coming through as well, I think, yeah, it's just really Shivali? Flashlight? Anyway, it just seemed to have just slipped from JD's grasp. So Plane Resonance will kind of just save JD for a little bit there, and we'll have to see again what they can do. But I don't think they've caught on to where Shivali is, so I would have thought that getting Shivali out of the trial was #1 priority, but since they're still alive, I guess they just have to check the gens in the meantime. So, I don't really know what to say, because I guess perhaps at this point now the game's actually stagnated a bit. Like, this hook is not really the best of positions for survivors, so they do have to rotate around themselves like pretty well.
Oh.
Very nice dodge there from Rune. So just beautiful plays coming through, and this is again the momentum I think going back to Requiem. So
Shack pellet, bro.
yeah, it's crazy, but I have to say that like the Shack pallet is not going to mean like as much, just because the gens are like really close, so it's probably going to get thrown for like not much in the not so distant future.
No, you are exactly right, Tavi, but it's the security of being able to sit this Shack gen that is so high. We see beautiful Rune is putting on a show right now. This has been lovely stuff from him, this unknown set. I mean, we said it last set though, didn't we, Tavi? Like, if JD was able to, get a high 4K, which he did, high stages, which he did in the end, but it was a bit, they kind of just gave up, I guess. They were trying to just, mess around, get 4 people out the door. Realistically, if they took best result, it was looking about 5 to 6 stages, right?
Yeah.
And that's tough, because when that's what you can produce against this team, I fear for a lot of other teams that play, because JD is very capable on these 2 killers that he's played tonight, Dracula and Unknown. So maybe, maybe Requiem are back. They've had 2 seasons of just lackluster. I mean, I'll say it, how it is. They've had pretty bad seasons. They finished bottom 2 in a group of 5, and they didn't make the finals last season. The season before that, I believe they missed out as well. So this is the Requiem we've all heard about. This is the Requiem, we remember, I guess, from back in the day. This is so greedy from them as well. That is upsetting. That is very upsetting. And the juke as well. We're dancing around. We're literally we're dancing circles around JD, throwing dollar bills on him. Dance, they say. Dance. But honestly, Tavi, this has been such a shocking turn of events for me. This is probably the second time today where I've been caught off guard like this, bro. I'll be honest.
Yeah, actually, unironically, I think I was a bit surprised when I saw Corey get killed, and they still hadn't popped the final generator, but Shaq was pretty close, and that's a really nice UVX though from JD. So it's gonna secure 7 stages. I think that's 8 stages. I think that's a lot better than what I was initially hoping for. Definitely a lot more than 4. I'll say that much, chance. But yeah, I'm pretty surprised. I think that was more of like a Requiem misplay coming through, just not maybe getting a bit too confident with the situation they were in. They had like 3 hooks, 1 gen left, and with 0 gens left, now JD has, in theory, 8 hooks. So, look, the trial's not really over yet. Bleedout survivors have shown themselves to play very well under certain circumstances. Again, circumstances which I think are a bit, what do you call it? A bit like very like a bit like variable, but yeah, they could definitely pull off a fairly low stage result. I think this is a mid stage result for Unknown. He was gonna get a tag onto a fresh hook, so again, I think there's a bit of a Requiem misplay coming through. I don't know if they make Shaq though, so JD might just be able to secure this down if Rune keeps on being slippery, but that's gonna be the down, and I think it's just more Requiem mistakes coming through. This is just unnecessary. What do you call it?
Oh my god!
It really went down too. Wait, I think this is completely unnecessary. It could have taken 8 stages out, and now looking at 9.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been diabolical if we got that shot. I mean, wouldn't have really mattered much if he would have had to... I mean, he could have just forced out our Renato there, Renato. But yes, you are correct, Tavi. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I'm not mistaken, Tavi. 9 stage, 4 fresh. Pretty good result on the side of JD, all things considered. Yeah, I mean, again, my pre-fire of a 4 stage is not because of JD's capability. It's because of how well was it A Tucker, I believe you said, Tavi. So I don't know. I mean, you want to say this is probably very doable for the side of Bleedout, and I do think it is. Why does my heart tell me that I think this could just be low-key a 4K?
Well, it again comes down to the chases. Funnily enough, comes down to the chases. Again, I see this as pretty clear. Either 4K or outs. Outs, my prediction would probably be very close, but 4K would happen pretty guaranteed if Taka can just really lock in on the UVXs, which again, last trial we saw them play really well on the dog form, and actually just all forms of the Dracula. She played really well, so they can lock in, hit the UVXs, then I think 4K is within grasp. On the other hand, though, if Bleedout can lock in on the dodging, be really unpredictable, play really patient, then they can absolutely get out, and that is what we will have to see in this trial right now. JD's getting chased again, so we'll have to try show up, I think, for the previous Drac game. But no, it's going to be left, and Taka's just going to look around. So this is, I think, in my opinion, this is actually a good start for Bleedout.
You're exactly right. And honestly, Tavi, this is going to be the first tag on to 6 starts here. So in place of Roy, what we were talking about. Tavi, what needs to happen? I know we've kind of discussed it a little bit, but what does need to happen to get 10 stages for fresh here? And what needs to happen for Bleedout? Because Unknown, he has proven to get decently high results. Now, that also comes down to, we were talking about before, the chases is very, very different. Obviously, they're a bit more mechanically intensive in EU, maybe even in NA. The killer's a bit of a 4-stage killer over there, 5-stage killer. Is it out of the realm of possibility to say that this is low-key a decent average result that JD got, and Requiem's killer here, who is a Tucker, sorry, I'm lying. It's Clover. I apologize. Clover is going to be playing killer here. Is it possible that, maybe even just him being able to roam, pressure, play a normal standard game is enough here, or does he have to get aggressive in some form? Because I'm struggling to find what he has to do. Because I understand, 10 stages is a bit dear on unknown. You have to get somewhat aggressive, but how far can he really go? He does have TP on hook, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Tavi, I guess, is the best thing to really go for. We do take a tag onto Jas. Vibes there. Eruption onto the back gen, Tavi. I'm assuming you'll TP back 3 to 1 now. Beautiful, Tavi. Beautifully played macro, which should secure seconds here. I'm assuming there will be a survivor setup somewhere, maybe? No, we've rotated back, so beautiful decision. And we're choosing to roam on the side of Clover there. I don't know if that was a good decision. He predicted the free split, and JD was in position, or not in position, but he was close enough to get that pull, and we've wasted TP. That could be bad now, Tavi, but we do have the TP straight back off cooldown and the FTP. 6 hearts is away in good hands, and we're going straight for J-Deza.
I think this is perfect gameplay coming through from Bleedout. They immediately transition from that pressure from Enlighten to the hook, and also an additional for the people, which I assume the Mr. J Dazza will have resilience to pair along with it, and I think it was live too, right? I don't remember, but it's definitely much better position for Bleedout. They play that really well, and JD gonna have to show up here again. I think they will make the pallet, and yeah, okay, they do make a pallet. Oh, I was gonna say if that JP ping got a hit, that was crazy, but that's gonna allow the second gen to be popped. And again, right now things are looking really up for Bleedout. They managed to reset all the injuries except for JD's, which looked a bit worrisome to me because there were 3 injured survivors in the trial, and that could have snowballed out of control. They got that under control, and it's looking very similar to the previous game now. Like Clover just lost a lot of the pressure there just from JD's stun pretty much, and for the people, and that commitment onto Enlightened. And actually, the fact that Hearts didn't go second stage as well, that is a huge problem, because now Hearts will not just have this health state, but an additional life going into the next hook stage. An additional 70 seconds will make Clover very worried, as you do take the tag and continue this chase to the top side of the map. We do see JD try and take a hit here, which will come through. I would assume this is a clean break play coming through, but Hearts is, yeah, they need a last year. I think this is completely in Hearts' books. They already used a sprint burst, but this tile is proving to be pretty strong.
Oh,
They get mind gamed. But again, I still think this is a very good spot for Bleedout, because like JD's gonna get clean break surely, and then and like 70 seconds on hook. That's like another potentially 2 gens done, and if Clover decides to camp, that would be.
Oh!
Okay, I'm getting a bit far into Disneyland here, Joms. Take me out of here. Get me out of here.
No, your decision was beautiful, bro. You were doing extremely well. It was diabolical that Enlightened, of all people, has run directly into the killer. I do believe I recall me saying earlier it's rare for him to make a blunder. Well, that might be the biggest one I've ever seen him make, unironically. We do see Jasia playing with young 6 hearts, or in this case, an old 6 hearts, bro. He's been around for a while now. But either way, we do need 6 hearts to last in chase. We are at 1 gen. I don't know if tunneling would be the option here. We do catch him out. Now, we spoke earlier, Tavi, chases are important here. And we do see 6 hearts. He's got the shack to run to. Does make it. Almost got caught out. Now, Tavi, the add-on there coming into play. That is going to be the game cartridge, giving you basically brutal and bam bolt speed, obviously minus the blocking of the window for, I believe it's 30 seconds, Tavi, after a teleport. I'm wrong on the time there, but 30 seconds sounds about right to me. Bleedout have played this extremely well to get to this point. I'm very impressed. There are 4 injured, which is the saving grace for Clover, Tavi. But we are going to reset everybody, which you can see right now is happening. Now, Clover has to roam. He has to roam and find a reset. There's no other way. If he doesn't roam and find it, it's just GG's, I believe, Tavi. So my brethren Tavi has just simply died on the spot, eh? Well, I guess I'll keep going then. Either way, we needed to find the reset to catch out someone there. That's the 2nd time we've caught out a bloke just running into us. My golly gosh, we need to switch on just a little bit here. Maybe coming where the TPs are would be beautiful. I have received that Tavi's laptop has crashed. That is always funny to me. We do catch out 6 hearts here. This is not the person we want to be seeing in chase. Oh no, we could get a quick down. We are choosing the time to reset Jas in the background here. I don't think the bros have enough time to stack the gen, but obviously Clover disagrees with me. The choosing to TP back to the gen, getting the tag onto Enlightened, and we are going to choose to reset 6 hearts pretty instantaneously. I believe JD is just sitting on the top side of the map, just resetting everybody, just waiting there with this, not Sprint Burst, I believe he has, I don't know what he has actually. I thought JD had Sprint Burst, but I know 6 hearts has Sprint Burst as well, so I'm not too sure. Either way, very well played from them. The macro side of Unknown can definitely tell they're more comfortable when it comes to this set as opposed to the other one. Trying to get a sneaky locker grab. Might be trying to find someone out here. I don't know if we see anybody. Obscure Game Cartridge value coming in again. We see JD and Jas just sitting on this gen. It's going to go to 1-1, I reckon, Tavi. Are you back by any chance, Big Muscles?
Yes, I am, and I am very, very impressed by. Well, I'm very impressed by the risk that Bleedout took. I think I think it paid off. Six hearts. They managed to get a beautiful first chase. I think just went edge map. I played very safe there, and then the team just collapsed on Clover with pressure. Just a gen popped, and then Clover overextended, I think, and another gen pops. Then just more gens pop. Gens are popping everywhere, and suddenly Clover only has 2 hooks and needs to find 7 more in the upcoming endgame, which hasn't arrived just yet. Jas is going to give away a UVX tag, so I think this will be a down coming through. But again, the gens I think are just really, really healthy at this point. They're really, really pumping. Jas gets hit with the pallet. That's not Jas ping that I'm used to seeing, but again, the gens, I think they're just really, really fine. And yeah, Clover's TPing away. They're not deciding to go for the pick. They're not going for the stages. So there's just recognition, or maybe just fear, that the gens are too far progressed. And Jas is going to get double reset as well in the background as you do find JD. JD, I don't think this is a chase. Sorry, Clover, this is not a chase. I think you should take onto JD. You cannot really get a hit here, and they didn't even bother with the UVX, so it just teleports back. But like, how much pressure really is there if the UVXs don't connect and you don't get the injuries? Like, this is the problem again. The chase aspect is just lacking here on Unknown, and it's again not Clover's fault, but it's just the killer in general is being solved, which I believe. So it's going to be a pallet out of the way, but it's just so much valuable time to bleed out, and it's just really beautiful to see how Bleedout have capitalized on this WinCon.
Going back to a more traditional lineup, obviously 6 hearts has been there since day one, so has obviously seen the growth, been in the growth. Pulling out a good result here, we are going to take a tag onto Enlightened. I do think Clover, probably looking back, probably should have just picked up Jas. Obviously, that is a bit of a hindsight comment to make, but I mean, all 3 survivors were bottom. I don't know how we could possibly expect. I don't know that we do get 6 hearts out here. Oh my god, we've barely shoot that. We are running into the killer here. We might be able to TP back in time before the gen pops. I doubt it though. It might just pop in our phase. No, the gen's 40, 50, 60, Darby. Not that high.
Yeah, and again, Bleedout should just continue what they're doing. They just need to reset the injuries as much as possible. 6 hearts is definitely getting reset by JD at this current moment, but Enlightened, now that they've been dropped from Chase, I think it's just going to be really happy. Yeah, again, you just get reset by the healthy survivors, and Clover can't do anything about it. Just has to sit there and watch the generator slowly run out of kicks. So, yeah, it's just going to be very clinical from Bleedout here. Clover's just not in a position to, I guess, commit a chase, because the chases have just been too good from Bleedout, and it's just too fearful of the generators popping as a result. So, yeah, I think, as you were saying before, Jams, it's going to be going to a 1-1 unless Bleedout make a horrendous mistake going into this endgame, which should not be the case. They're playing really confidently at this moment. JD even wins the pallet too, so look, 1-1 going to the mastermind. If it really is going to be as bad as you said it was last week, then hopefully they have managed to put a couple more scrims into it, and you know, just giving a bit more love to the Mastermind set. JD does get the light off there, so just gonna continue this chase down, and I don't think, yeah, there's just no way to get 7 stages in this spot. So yeah, Mastermind it is. Mr. Albert T. Wesker will be our final tied set. So yeah, buckle up for that, I guess.
And I did say earlier that Mastermind may be on the weaker side of Bleedout. I did forget that Enlightened does play Wesker. That just slipped my mind. I forgot.
True.
He low-key played killer these days. He is a cracking good Wesker. He is in good nick as well, I have to be completely honest.
Bottom, and it is a very typical build for a Mastermind player. You know, one thing I've noticed, Jams, is I know it's not in the balancing, but like Noah is like not picked by like any killers nowadays, and I find that funny because I specifically remember like fairly not that long ago, like Mastermind was actually just running Noah just to get more stages. I don't think that Clover would run Node anyway. I do believe their Mastermind skill is enough to boost them confidently for 4K. But you know, regardless, we're taking the first chase, and Clover's just waiting for these charges to come back, which I think is the right play. But yeah, JD's playing patient here, so with a bit of an unfortunate vault, Clover's just gonna completely lose JD. So okay, a bit of a funny start coming through for our survivors, but yeah, I guess Clover does seem to be like more like dash oriented on Mastermind. Like it really did want to get that infection there, which seemed a bit strange to me. But yeah, if they can secure the down here, then I think it will be nicely set up here. So we'll have to see. There's another survivor here. Oh, maybe there isn't. Wait, what's this?
I think we someone posturing here. We're not committing onto Enlightened, we do commit onto the mid-gen. We're not going to pop this mid-gen. It's been pretty early. We need to posture this if we're Enlightened. The pick is going to come through. Do we get it if we're light? We aren't even going to risk it. We are just going to try the cracker save. I mean, maybe we spent enough time. No, we didn't. The gen's still going to pop. So regardless of all that, I said that was a good start for Clover. Little Chief, not Little Chief, Tavi, sorry. Honestly, Tavi, not too bad. Not too bad at all. We got a front main hook. JD, probably the guy you want on hook. Not saying he's the bad chase, but he's the IGL. IGL, you know, if you want to pressure them, you chase them so they can't com. So we know that that's probably a good decision to make there, forcing others to speak up, I guess is how you could say it. I know it's one of my biggest weaknesses. We do have... Was that Claudette getting the pull? That was Claudette getting the pull. We do have JD now in the back. I think Claudette is head on. No, is she head on here? There it is. Beautiful. That's what I was trying to get out of my mouth before. Low key. Now, Tavi. Problems, I would say no. We have to get JD bottom, I think. That is the main concern here.
Yeah. I think with how early that pull came through, getting JD down in the top side is going to be a huge problem. And Leiden taking a hit, though, is going to be really, really good relief from that. And JD should be able to make it towards relative safety. We do hear them vault, though, so that means I think JD's still around the building, and Clover does suspect that too. We do see a bit of faint scratch marks around main, and yeah, I think that's going to be JD being found again. So they will be a little bit further than before, but still, you know, kind of just stuck on this main building while Clover does hold down the W. But the question is, can they get that main generator done in time before JD goes down? And the answer will be maybe, because that is not the mid generator pop. Oh, it is the mid generator popping. So they do manage to get an additional generator with the mid gen, and Hearts is also here for the body block. So yeah, very textbook play coming through from Bleedout here. The altruistic hit tanks are pretty strong on Mastermind. Like, you can catch up to survivors fairly quickly, I would say, even through a hit take. But still, it is just, you cannot really play around a body block as a Mastermind that well. So it is going to be down onto JD. No one's going to be here for the pallet save, and we'll kind of get a bit further towards the bot side death spot. But it's not going to, I don't think it will matter too much, Drums, because it's still like 3 gens done for a second stage is really, really good pressure for our survivors. So yeah, they still have bounce landing in the trial too, so should actually wait. JD might be balanced. Oh, this is interesting. But JD JD just needs to make this chase last pretty nicely, and I think they'll be looking at house.
Great time, excuse me. Yeah, I mean, it's been a really cracking chase from Big J. Yeah, we are going to bop that pallet there. I don't think that was intentional. Yeah, I mean, hey, Tucker, where were you, son? We might have needed you here. I know maybe he doesn't play these killers, but we are going to get another head-on from inline too. This has been really, really well played from the Bleedout survivors. They are turning back the clock, I guess you could say, or maybe showing up what their true potential could be here. We do catch 6 hearts out here at the God front main pallet Tarby. I'd say this is a good one. We do get the stun onto Clover here, and this is looking a bit dicey. Oh, we don't even get that one either, Tarby. This has to, he's definitely pressed. You can tell he's a bit upset now. A bit tilted, I guess you could say, after that last one. Mastermind is a tilting killer to play, I have to admit.
Yeah, Mastermind is not just tilting, but difficult to play, and not being able to follow through on the dashes must feel really bad. Look at that. Clover misses that dash. That was very important to hit, and now it's just going to be continuing the pressure for survivors. A bit of a Mastermind hitbox coming through there from Jazz. So perhaps this chase might not go for as long as I envisioned, but you do get a bit of a body block coming through Blind Light, and he does get thrown though by the Beetle, and that is also an injury, so he just might be taking the down, but no, there's a pallet here. So again, just very, very nicely done, I'd say, by Bleedout, just transferring the pressure. I do think this like little east side map shenanigan was a bit unnecessary, but at the same time, JD's healthy, they have the tunnel out, and they're nowhere to be seen, so that means that the trial should in theory be going pretty well. So should be the second pain res of the trial coming through. Still 2 gens remaining, but we did see, I think JD's gen was pretty close to popping, and okay, they're gonna be them pre-running behind here. So does this down come through though? Yes, it does. That is Jams. If Clover missed that, I don't know. I think the mental would have been pretty chopped there, but that is going to be a down and a gen done. And yeah, I think I just don't see a world where this last gen pops. Sorry, no, the last gen doesn't pop. Because I like the Stormforge still survived in the trial, so the pressure should, in theory, be way too insurmountable.
No, you're exactly right, Tarby. Should be an uphill battle from here on out for Clover and Requiem. This is pretty much what you see on the Mastermind most of the times. 4K is not really in the realm of possibilities these days. Maybe back in the day in OC when it was the less talked about region, but nowadays everyone's a bit more advanced. We've incorporated C and NEA, so everyone gets a bit of a throw and gets to, like I said, throw their weight around, show what they're capable of, and this is definitely what Bleedout are capable of. We are choosing to zone 6 hearts there. Very nice juke from Big 6 hearts. And honestly, Tavi, I mean, this is his last fresh. This is probably who he commits. And I don't know, we're going to see Enlightened play killer after this. We need to see a good result from him. So far, if it stands and we get this down, Tavi, and put him in the basement, that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4. Is that enough? Is that a good enough result these days on Westcon Mastermind to be able to say, yeah, okay, boys, lock in, we got it? Or is the mental chopped?
I guess since it's not answer 1, it's answer 2. I think the mental's chopped. I don't think 7 stages, I guess, is enough for Clover. They really don't want this gen to pop, which I don't know. Again, I don't know if it's the right decision. Getting the fresh there, I would completely agree, is logical. It's also a pain resonance because it's a fresh hook too. So leaving that and allowing hearts to be reset might be a bit of a mistake. So anyway, they're heading back to Shack. There's Clover, and maybe they can catch out the reset in time. But even if they do, again, the survivors are going to be on that one side generator, and it's not going to be very easy to defend. Hearts does get found out here on the fill. It does pop the light and try and part away, but the egg will be able to cure the down there. So yeah, this pain res, and I would have to admit this is a much better spot for the pain res. So I guess a bit of a gamble from Clover did work, because it's going to be a lot easier to defend this fresh and the generator in this position. So what do we have now? We have 5 stages on the board for Clover, looking at 7 if Hearts dies. And with JD being chased here, maybe they can get eliminated from the trial. Maybe a hug tap comes through. I'm just predicting at this point. That's kind of smooth there from Clover, and JD's heading to the edge map, so there's only this filler to play off. And Clover does have the does have the Brutal, doesn't go for it. The throw isn't far enough, but I think JD is still down and dead at this point. There's no real way that they can get out of the situation. So little bit of a clip there for Chief to go ahead and take, but that is the last gen down anyway. So can Clover actually capitalize on that commitment onto the JD? Because I mean, look, even though they get the down, there's still less stages, no?
Yeah, I mean, it's Resi on the door. Sorry to mumble under you there, big fella. Yeah, I mean, it's just really well played. We've gotten... Oh, hold... Okay, no, that wasn't the injured survivor. I thought that might have been the injured survivor of 6 Hearts there. No, though, that's going to be... Hello, beautiful people. We are back in business. We are going into our last set. Oh, our literally last match. So, if this ends on a Tavi, correct me if I'm wrong, it was 6-4 if I'm not mistaken. If we do end on a 6-4 result, that means we are going to be having another tie, our second tie. So we need to be looking for that here. We need to be looking, basically that's all. I mean, both teams can take it here. That's the good thing, that not one team hasn't gone over. Both teams are in the running to make something happen here. The only way one team loses if they tie one set, but Tavi, 5 stages for the win con. What are you thinking, Big Muscles? What are you thinking? How does 5 stages get achieved here? Obviously, good chases like that, where a Lighten is forced to leave and go, literally leave halfway through his corrupt and not get it down. What are you thinking? What are you thinking, Big Muscles?
I'm trying to envision myself playing Enlighten right now. So I'm trying to imagine what's going through his mind, and I think that first chase, I think it should not affect Enlighten that much because, on Mastermind, again, I believe Mastermind's a fairly solved killer. So having as in you don't really need to juke that much. So seeing the lower juke there and avoid the dashes, I think is still a pretty good sentiment for Enlighten. Look at that, really, really clean double dash there from Enlighten. It's just gonna get a 3 mid hook, and I think that's just gonna be really good setup for the rest of the trial. So yeah, as I'm saying, I remember seeing Enlighten's Mastermind. I think the micro was there absolutely. So if Requiem just can't juke out enough, then downs like that will just continue happening over and over until those 6 stages happen. So actually 7 stages happen. So yeah, get the reset coming through. No gens popped just yet, but I know that 2 generators are pumping a fair amount. So we'll be seeing if there's another dash. Okay, I mean that's a huge hit onto the bounce landing there. It's completely denied the bounce landing distance coming through now, and Lightning gets to play this power for 3, gets the brutal strength, and gets the next down. So I mean, things might be just getting a bit out of control coming in for Requiem. That's another down. That's nearly a third of the way there for Enlightened, and that's another pain res. So that's gonna deny another generator from popping in theory. And yeah, I think Enlightened should be chilling right now. I think it should be pretty happy with the spot he's in. And I think knowing the fact that knowing the win condition of 6 stages, knowing that he doesn't have to force a tunnel out is really, really crucial, because that means you can just go for anyone if they're in a bad spot. Go for any injured survivor, not have to go for a 4K result.
Requiem have kind of stormed back here, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry, I apologize. Requiem. Bleedout have kind of stormed back here just a little bit, Tav, if I'm not mistaken. They've done well. They've played their set immaculately. Enlighten's a good Wesker too. They're obviously confident to throw him on the tiebreaker. He's probably getting some nice extensive knowledge. Maybe using some of his own. That's going to be a down onto all those gens. He's going to pick. That's going to be pain res coming through. This is the luxury they give themselves when you play for 6 stages in the survival result. It gives your killer player the leniency to not have to do pretty much anything, Tavi, other than just take chases, am I right? And that's all he's doing. He's just taking chases, getting downs, relying on what he knows how to do, which is play the Wesker. And honestly, Tavi, I think that just secured. I know that it's not set in stone just yet. Do we still need 2 more stages, 3 more stages, 4 more stages maybe? I'm not too sure, but I do think this is set in stone now with these 2 egregiously bad hooks we've seen in this game.
Yeah, like there were 2 mid hooks, and then you also saw the tap onto Shirley. So, yeah, Enlighten's just feeling it right now. Somehow our survivors will need to pop more generators, then let hooks escape them, because if they allow 5 hooks to escape, that is a very guaranteed win for Enlighten. And it's actually Enlighten's taking the time off to camp this hook, which I am a bit surprised about, but kind of makes a bit of sense because with the other hooks in the trial, seeing that no generators popped yet, the worst case scenario, 3 gens pop right now from the triple split, and you have achieved 4 stages from the camp out. So realistically, like, I kind of agree with this decision. He doesn't really know where anyone is either. So now finally uses the dashes to go away and check this generator, which, yes, it is being progressed. So we'll give it another little eruption kick and potentially chase the survivor. I don't know if it'll be the guaranteed case though, because they seem to have left. So Enlighten is going to leave as well. And I do agree, Jams. I was really not expecting Bleedout to go so handily in in the sets coming out today, but it seems like Requiem's killer, like Clover in this case, just did not perform on this on the unknown side, and well, did not perform on the mastermind side either, because Enlightened is just proving to be too good of a counterpart on Bleedout's side. So despite the Dracula game, they've just come back really solidly, and I think they should have just reverse swept this. In theory, of course, that's if Enlightened can deliver on the final stages here, which with this dash does seem to be the case. That's going to be the 5th hook of the trial coming through. 2 gens pop finally, but if you are in Requiem's shoes, you can only allow 1 more hook of the trial before it is, well, in an imminent tie condition or in a win condition for Enlighten, and they still need 3 gens to go. Jumps, like, there's just not enough pressure on the board, in my opinion. And with the tunnel out being chased too, gets tapped. Look at that, really clean from Enlighten, and that's going to be kind of the tie condition. Just needs 1 more hook to secure the win, and it's just, yeah, Bleedout. Just Bleedout shining in these final 2 sets.
They've done well. It's been a great showcase of resiliency. A brilliant match we've watched here, Tavi. Not even the last match we have for tonight, which breaks my heart in so many ways. Either way, we do have Oppenheimer versing, I believe it is Kaido Kids after this match. That will be a good one. That should be around 11:30 AEDT, if I'm not mistaken, maybe even a bit earlier, depending on how quick this one finishes up. And then at 2:30 AM, as we do get it down onto Sorum there, down at the 2 towers, will be Pain Res. This is the win for Bleedout, coming in very well played to them. Deserved, very deserved. Round of applause. They will be on a high note, and I bet Requiem will be a little bit shitty with themselves after that, because I definitely thought it was theirs. A couple of moments where they could have taken, I don't know, Clover just didn't look his best today. Survivors haven't really looked too overzealous either, if we're going to be completely honest. They played well in Drac, but, you know, they kill a 4K2, so you don't really need to play too well, do you, Tavi? Either way, GOAT of the tiebreaker, Enlightened, deserves MVP of the day. Maybe not of the day, but of this, which, I mean, when you think about this being the most important set, I guess it is of the day. So yeah, Enlightened definitely my MVP for this game. Well played to him, well played to all of Bleedout. I think it was just a bit poor in the end from Requiem. They just, I don't know, were a bit sleepier, is the best way I could put it. Bleedout made better decisions. That even stems back to the P&Bs, you know, maybe doing your homework on Online should have been a play. He's definitely a good Wesker. No reason why you should let him have this killer at all. It is his best killer he plays, Tavi, so I don't know. Bit of ego there going on, maybe. Maybe we need to do a bit more research, like I said, either way. Oh, you go, Toddy. No, I'll catch my breath. You go, you go.
Yeah, I kind of forget that like research is a pretty big point in trying to choose sets because playing against a team that's, you know, insta-ban A, insta-ban B, insta-ban C, then insta-ban, you know, it kind of makes the sets a little bit more obvious, but against a bit more of the what do you call it, like a bit more of the wild card teams, maybe not even wild card teams, more like maybe teams that maybe I'm trying to find the correct word for this. Like, yeah, teams that haven't really showed all their cards yet, I think is the best way for me to put it. Like, Aladdin, I don't think has like really popped up on Wesker like too much. Like, Bleedout's not pushing Wesker in any kind of way. They're kind of like pushing more of like JD's killers, and then, you know, Wesker kind of just falls under falls under the radar. And then you also have pretty clear example to me at least is like Too Savage, like they're always trying to push like Blight, I think. I think they are. But then like you pick a set like Clown and Lever learns the hard way, perhaps. Actually not Lever. But like yeah, I mean, you can learn the hard way that Backy's Clown is just really good, or that so on. So they're just multiple examples, you know, that I could think of. But I think look, at the end of the day, Buda's gonna be taking this set, and yeah. And Aladdin makes the very good showing on the Wesker 4K3, very nice. But